this is Tina from You Made That, and I wanted to show you what I got. I got some more from Paisleys and Polka Dots. I got the coffee garland and blocks wood decor DIY craft kit. And I'm thinking this is going to be a gift. I did order more sets from them and they will be gifts. But this is a new one. Sorry about that. And I thought I'd share. So we've got all the papers, fun. And again, everything comes in the kit except for paint. And I've got paint. Cool. So these are all the pieces. And oh boy, as I record this, I don't remember how much it cost. I need scissors. I know the Birds mailbox, Lovebirds mailbox was like $12. And this one wasn't much different. I think it was 16 or 14 or something like that. Anyway, real affordable, real fun. Okay, so these are the blocks for the signs. Look how thick they are. They're so nice. They stand up. They smell good too. They smell like campfire, kind of. I like that. And then these wooden beads, which are everywhere. And I've seen people paint them. I might not. They show, some of them are painted. Oh, sorry, I can't see that. Some of them are painted and some of them aren't. So we'll see. I love this. I love that. And look at this. Things are going to go together. I'm going to follow the instructions and yeah, figure it all out. So let me look at my paint colors. First, I start by cutting everything out. Now they say cut to the inside or on the lines. So they give you a little bit of wiggle room, which is very much appreciated. Here's a line. So here's an example, and I tried to cut on the line, I guess, for the most part, and my scissors from Fiskars make it really easy. Okay, here is what we call fussy cutting in the card making world, and you turn the paper, not the scissors, to get nice smooth lines. So you can see me doing that here. Some people hate fussy cutting. I actually like it and it's fun, and these scissors that are spring-loaded make it easier on your hand so they don't cramp up. Now I'm back to following along the white lines. This pattern paper has white lines to follow. And again, Paisley and Polka Dot make it really easy and forgiving, I guess is the word. And I sped it up. I wish I cut this fast, but I don't. It's not my superpower. I tried to get as close to the cup as I could without having a little white showing, but it wasn't perfect, and that's okay. Okay, now I'm putting all the pieces together, kind of like a little puzzle, going with the instructions, which paper goes where. I realized they gave me 2 of those, so I chose which one I liked better. Then for these little coffee beans, I had to look at the picture again and go, oh wait, these go on top of these shapes. And if it didn't fit, just turn the shape over and the paper will fit. Now it's time to paint. So I got some acrylic paint, one from Michael's, and this big tube of brown I don't know where I got. I've had it forever. And I'm glad that some came out because I got a little nervous there. So the directions say to paint one of the blocks white and one of them a cinnamon color. And I didn't have a cinnamon color, so I'm going to make my own. And since I'm making my own light brown, I do not want to have to make it again to match, so I've got to make sure I have plenty of paint in there, so I'm not going to have to remix. Only a little bit of brown and a lot of white will make a light tan color. And once I get a color that I'm happy with, except that I notice, wait, it's not the big brown um, block that I need to paint. It's the little guy that needs to be the cinnamon color. That's why I look at the instructions often. Again, I don't paint this fast. I wish I did. And this wood really soaks up the paint, which makes it dry really fast, but also makes a couple coats, maybe 2 coats, optimal. Some of the beads are a different color brown too, so as long as I have this cinnamon color out that I made, I'm going to paint 2 of the beads this light brown color. And I didn't know how I was going to paint them, but I grabbed a paintbrush that was nearby, stuck the bead on it, and now I have a little handle. And then I found the Kleenex box nearby and just stuck it in there and it can dry. So that was kind of fun. I grabbed a few more paintbrushes so that I could do the rest of the beads. And that worked out. Okay, I added a little more dark brown. Oh, because I want some of the beads to be, well, 2 of the beads to be a darker brown. So I got a light brown, I got a darker brown, I'm going to have white, and then just plain brown. So 4 different colors of beads. And then the rest will all be unfinished wood, like they gave me in the kit. Now I've got to do this part, and I'm doing the sides too. And the sides are already brown, but I wanted to do them anyway. And then, of course, the back, but I'll do the full back later after the top dries. This one I did 2 coats. And then the beans. And then, of course, while I've got this darker brown, I got to do the beads that go with it. And now I'm doing the second layer of paint. And look how that dried. That looks really cool. You're not going to see much of it, but it looks really cool. Okay, so now I'm ready for the white paint. Yes, this background has to be white. And you could change the colors. I followed the diagram. I went with what they recommended. That's just how I did it. Hey, look, those came off of that paintbrush real easy. So I'm going to put another one on there and paint this one white. Now I'm bringing out the hot air tool. It's not a hair dryer. It's actually a craft tool. But yeah, I'm like, this has to dry. I need to put second coat on here. So that worked pretty well. And I can do the second coat. Then when that was dry, I did the back. Because as I see, the backs are going to show. And the coffee beans too. So I need to paint the back of those. And I'm being careful because I don't want the edges to get painted. That's just me. I just didn't want the edges to be white. I wanted them to stay brown. So I'm going really careful. And of course, I didn't go careful enough. So I just took a damp paper towel and just wiped it away. Little cleanup. Then this one is the one that needs to be white. So I painted it white, and I didn't show that because you guys have seen me paint before. Now I'm ready to glue. And I have my favorite glue, Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. And I decided I'll glue the paper, not the wood. And I have a little wiggle room here so I can get it just so. And this glue dries clear if I just wiped away a big gob of it. And it dries pretty fast too. So I just pressed it down. And then I found this big needle in my crochet stuff. And I didn't show it, but I popped that hole through the pattern paper on that coffee bean. I just took a pokey tool and now I'm tying a knot. This is what the instructions said to do. They said start with the beans and tie a knot with the twine. And I wanted to really pull it tight. Then I thread the needle on there and it was small enough to go through the wooden beads, which I was happy about. But I'm going to start with my pattern. So I start with the white bead, then the light tan, the cinnamon one, then the darker brown, and then the darkest brown, which had a really cool color gradient there. And I just try to cover up the knot. And this is all in the instructions too. It says feed that end through a bead or two, and no one will see it. Now I'm just pulling tight, making sure I like the knot that still kind of shows under the white bead. Do I like it? Do I like it? And I decide that I do. So now I can go really fast and string the unfinished wood beads. Now I'm going to reverse the pattern. So I start with the darkest brown so that it's like symmetrical. This was very easy and very fun and looks great. I thought this part was very, very fun. Okay, now what do I do? Now I look at the instructions and they say feed it through the coffee cup. But now with the needle's too big. So the twine is pointy enough, and I drop things, pointy enough to go through that hole. I would say this probably took me 2 hours start to finish. And by the end of the 2 hours, I get a little fumbly and droppy. You'll see a few more instances of that. Okay, it also said in the instructions then feed it through a couple of beads. Yeah. I was kind of like, should I just stop for the day? But no, I wanted to finish. I mean, I got this far. So you feed it through a couple of beads and then you tie the knot. So that's what I'm doing here, feeding it through this one. Oh, and this one. Now the end of my twine is finally kind of starting to fray a little bit, but that's okay because we're almost done. So now I tie the knot. And look, they give you extra twine and everything. So you get plenty of supplies in the kit. And again, everything except the paint is in the kit. So now I'm really making sure this is a tight knot. It's not going to go anywhere, but I decide to put a little drop of glue just to hold it. And I do the underside too. Now I'm going to let that dry and come back to my big white block and look at my instructions. Okay, so this goes sideways. So I'm going to glue this on with the same glue. And what I learned is there's a little bit of a lip. I think I show it. Yeah, see that little lip of paper? It's at the bottom. And I'm just gonna trim that later with my X-Acto knife. I don't show it, but I probably shouldn't have glued the coffee cup on, and I should have trimmed it with my X-Acto knife first, but I didn't. I put the coffee cup on there, and it was a little tricky to trim that, but it worked just fine. Now I'm going to feed this through because my glue is dry. Feeding it through that bead, and I'll pull it tight. And snip off the end. Okay, cool. It's not falling apart. It's looking good. This is when it gets really fun because it's like, yay, look at it coming together. And then this one's all done. I trimmed that. And this one's all done, which I also had to trim. And they stand up. Yay! And these are all of them all done. I highly recommend this kit. It is so much fun. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.